Welcome to the Lead Every Day show. Our mission is to see a world well led. And our strategy to get there? To empower leaders like you to lead every day. So let's get to work.
What's the goal of your team? Is everybody in on that goal? Would they all say that they're sharing the same goal? Are they as passionate about it as you are? I hope so. It's what we're going to talk about today on the Lead Every Day show. I'm Randy Gravitt.
And I'm Mark Miller.
And we're in this series we've been in the last few weeks on creating a high-performance team. A couple of weeks ago, we spent about 2 weeks talking about talent, why that matters so much. We've this week been talking about skills. You don't want just great people. You want to level up their skills, individual and team skills. And today, one of the things that teams really can do to level up their performance is pursue shared goals. And Mark, you're the one who told me that you're not even sure a team is a team if they don't have a shared goal. That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah, I've been asked, when does a team become a team? And is it the day they join? Is it the day you hand out the uniforms? Is it the day you have your first victory? I think a team becomes a team when they embrace a shared goal or goals.
Yeah. When they sit around a table and say, this is what we're going to do together, that is a catalytic
this is what we're
moment
going to do
that propels a team into the future. It's really great. So you've been working on this for a while. You guys at Chick-fil-A, we're doing some great work. We've worked with organizations everywhere when it comes to this. Give us some examples of some shared goals that you've run across in the past, or what if somebody's listening and they don't have a shared goal, anything you'd give them to think about here just to kick our conversation off?
I think the first thing to think about is, why does your team exist, which we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, if you missed yesterday, by the way, really, really good on purpose.
That may give you some clues as to what type of goal or goals you should set.
Yeah.
If you're trying to build a high-performance organization, then you should be thinking about leadership and leadership development and your bench, and you should be talking about alignment and the culture, and you should be thinking about engagement, and you should certainly be thinking about execution. So I think you've got to start with, what are you trying to accomplish? And then my bias is you need to go big, right? Go big or go home. The psychologists would tell us that the goals that have the greatest chance of moving performance are those that you've got a 50-50 chance of making. If the goals are too hard, then people don't bring their best work. And if they're too easy or perceived as trivial, they don't bring their best effort either.
Yeah.
It's that goal. And I would say it's more of an art than a science, but it's like, if we work really hard and if we work together and if we work smart, we might just pull this off. Those are your very best goals.
I love it when a team really gets together. I say sometimes when a team comes together, they actually set themselves apart. It's crazy what happens, competitive advantage stuff, when you really lean in together and say, we're going to do this. And there's alignment on that. There's role clarity. We're going to get into that as we go. But I think about a couple examples here. So I love to play golf. I go to a golf course, and it's so fun to go to a golf course because they have flags on every single hole. Think about going to a golf course. If you've been to one before, they didn't have any flags. It'd just be a dog park. I mean, it wouldn't be, it's like, that's great to have land and place to walk around. But the flags are what, it gives you a way to keep score.
They mark the target.
They mark the target. Exactly. It's a great way to say it. I love the fact that as businesses or as teams, maybe you got a trophy or a conference or something you're trying to win, or you got a school, you're looking for scores, and there's all kind of ways to measure this stuff. We'll get into some of that as well. But I love the idea that we've got a target, and when we do, it just gives us a chance to focus like never before. I mean, we really can lock in, and if you get people all locked in, that's great. You say all the time, no team drifts to greatness. I think there's a lot of drift going on these days, Mark, with teams that really don't have focus.
They don't have a target.
They don't have a focus on a target. Exactly.
Yeah. Goals give focus. Goals give energy. Goals create urgency if they're good goals. And they're
they
time
usually have a
activated.
deadline. That's exactly
You got to
right.
have a deadline, so they'll create urgency. They help you understand when corrective action is needed, because if you're not on pace, you're not on target, you guys say, okay.
Give some chance to check in.
What can we do to alter the plan? Maybe alter the goal, but you don't want to start there. Let's start with altering the plan. I would even argue that goals are a critical element in celebration. because you may have heard us talk about the value of celebration, and we'll probably talk about it again in the future, but you don't want to celebrate nothing. You don't want to celebrate just to celebrate.
Yeah.
You want to celebrate progress. And if you don't have a goal, then you actually won't know when you've made progress, because we really don't want to further confuse people. This whole activity and accomplishment, they're not the same.
Yeah.
And a goal can help you understand when it's time for appropriate celebration. There are just a lot of reasons to set goals.
Yeah. So years ago, I was at an event. You were actually at this event as well. We were out I believe we were in Dallas. We're having breakfast at a meeting, and there's several hundred leaders at this meeting, and somebody's actually teaching our content on stage, talking about this idea of priority and focus goal, And I'm sitting in the back of the room, and this lady who's teaching, she asked the question. She said, pull out your phone and text your top 3 people in your business and ask them this question: What's our number one goal for the year? And so, great question,
Oh,
and
yeah.
this lady sitting by me, and
Her version of the 3x5 card. She just did it on the
exactly
phone.
it. That's exactly it. And so when the session ends, we're 45 minutes later, this lady leans over to me, who owns this multi-million-dollar business, and says, check this out. She said, all 3 of my people texted me back and said, here's the number one goal. And all 3 of them said basically verbatim the same thing. And I said, congratulations, that's awesome. And she says, no, it's not. This is not our number one goal. And here's what she said. She said, they're crystal clear on the wrong thing. And I think so many leaders who are listening, you would be shocked if you ask this question again. Like yesterday, we asked on purpose, pull the 3x5 card back out and say, what's the number one priority over the next 90 days? And see what they say. And I'm guessing if you don't have alignment, it's because you haven't taken the time to create the clarity that you need. Again,
alignment is on the leader. It's not on the
everybody
follower.
to know what you're thinking or what's important. And so we got to do that work. I think it's so important. But we're really not a team until we have something that we all come to the table together and go, we're going to do this.
And goals help us accomplish that. Now, one more thing I didn't mention when I was kind of running through some things a moment ago, goals help us establish appropriate strategies. So let me illustrate this. This is really simple. If you want to increase sales 1%, then that would conjure up a certain set of strategies. And I'm guessing it'd be the same things you're doing now, just do them a little better or a little faster, and you might eke out 1%.
Yeah.
Okay, great. If your goal is 10% or 20%, well, then that probably will require different strategies and tactics. And so, I think goals are just like the Swiss Army knife for a leader. They can do so many things for you. And you just need to do them with the team.
And they really motivate people too. If you get them to lean in and we're all going to do this together, and you start seeing progress, there's just nothing more fun than seeing a team accomplish their goals.
Let me give a quick caveat to that, and this may be a whole nother episode later. Bob Beal, consultant, author, great guy. He said that some people are goal setters, and he said, but some people are problem solvers.
That's good, yeah. I've heard him say that.
Which, if you're listening, you probably know, do you prefer to pursue a goal or do you prefer to solve problems? Well, that's something else goals do for you, even with your problem solvers, because what you do is you identify the impediments, the obstacles, the barriers, and the problems that have to be solved in order to achieve the goal, and you give those to the problem solvers.
That's good.
And they're fully engaged, and oh, by the way, they're helping you move the ball down the field.
Yeah,
they're helping you move towards your goals.
Yeah, that's it. All right, so we'll land it right there. That's really good. If you are going to have a high-performance team, you got to have a common purpose, yes, but you have to have a shared goal. When you get everybody around the table sharing that goal, you're going to be on your way to something great. I believe that. I've seen it happen too many times. It might be the missing ingredient in taking you from a really good team to a great team. We believe that a shared goal is going to be needed. So let's work on that. If you need to, give that some thought. Go to leadeveryday.com. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, still looking for the Secret of Teams field guide, quick start guide. We talked about the video series, any of that. You can go check all that out there. We hope you'll continue this journey with us as we continue to discover the secret of teams. Remember, the best leaders lead every day.